Good afternoon. Have you traveled far to get here? I hope not. I hope you just went to your handy dandy computer and turned on your browser and went to radiotribune.com. There you go to the radio website where the black screen is. You can get there by clicking on the microphone that comes up, depending on which header you go into, and then there's another one with red highlighted area with Radio Tribune. You can click on that. However, when you've done this right, you get to a black screen with a play button, and you just hit on that play button, you know, the sideways pyramid type button, and the radio show should take off, and what's ever live now should come blazing over your speakers, and you can listen to the show. And then you can even do more than that. You can call into our call-in line 702-493-5222 and participate in the show by offering solutions of what you think this country can do to help straighten out problems, or to run on a smooth path in the future to restore this country. We don't want to go back to anything particularly. We want to make this country great. Again, I say again because we once were great. So I'm not saying go back to the past. I'm saying let's, from here on, restore this country so that we can move forward, be again the most productive, successful, highest standard of living, with a quality of life, high life expectancy, a lot of things that in other parts of the world are lacking. We were probably the leaders in a lot of that stuff. And of course, you know, every country has its ups and downs, and a lot of that is caused by incapable leadership. And I think we've seen that over the last 7.5 years in spades, so to speak, no pun intended, but I mean the policies, everything I think that's been done in the last administration has been exactly opposite of what could be productive for America, or any country for that matter. The policies that have been put forth are opposite to what works. And that's pathetic. That's a lack of leadership. Or you're just simply so out of touch with what needs to be done, or uneducated on the ways to run anything. And you look at the background of the leader that we've had for the last 8 years almost, and where's the experience? Where's the management capability? What has he ever run that's been successful? The answer to that is a simple nothing. Nothing. Now we have a choice up there between a real leader such as Donald Trump, who's built an extremely successful company. Sure, there's been ups and downs as there is in anything. What successful businessman started at the top? Nobody. And don't give me this crap, well, he started with a silver spoon in his mouth, you know, got a free loan, you know, he got $1 million help from his father, who happened to be a developer himself, and he could see some attributes probably in his son that he wanted to give him a chance to see what he could do. And look what he did. You know, somehow the Democrats or the liberals, or whatever you want to call them, just don't have the nature to look at success and applaud it. They have to destroy it, like Obama. You didn't build that. You know, I mean, the only reason you could do what you did is because of the infrastructure that we built. The government provided that for you. Where did the government get the money to provide that? Well, they don't mention it came from the taxpayers. and came from previous entrepreneurs that paid a lot in taxes. He seems to forget that kind of important part of it. He's just an ideologue that has one side to everything, fits all, and his ideology is big government. The government's the answer for everything, and in truth, the government is probably the cause of all the problems we have. And certainly, depressed leaders of any experience like Obama is absolutely the cause for most of our problems. Anytime we've had a poor quality of leadership, the country has had hard times. And we need to get out of these hard times, especially now after coming out of the almost 8 years of all this devastation that we've experienced. We have the lowest increase in productivity we've ever experienced over any administration in history. We haven't had one year where we've attained a 3% growth rate. That's outrageous. Our actual unemployment rate, not this phony 4.7 or whatever the hell it is, which is a joke. I mean, that's laughable. Is there anybody out there that believes that? Call me up and explain to me how you believe that. 702-493-5222. We're in such dire straits here, the leadership we've been lacking for so long. We have to talk the truth. We have to analyze the claptrap that's coming out of a certain party. We all know who I'm talking about. I'm not really biased against the Democrats. I'm biased against poor quality of leadership. Just because you have a D next to your name, I look at the quality of the person that's attached to that. I would probably support a Joe Lieberman type person. I think he's retired now. I don't think he's coming back anytime soon. But I mean, someone that has those types of philosophies and policies. He was very much in the middle. And the Democrats hated that kind of middle ideologue in a way, that he was somewhere center. That's not their left ideology goals. So they had to get rid of him. So they actually ran someone in the nomination process when he was running for re-election. There's probably rarely, I'm not sure that's ever happened, to tell you the truth, where the DNC financially backs an opponent to a long time U.S. senator like Joe Lieberman. And the reason they did that is they were pissed off because he wasn't expounding the claptrap that comes from the liberal side. So they went against him. Well, they tried. Joe Lieberman lost the nomination for the Democrat candidacy for Senate in Connecticut. And so he just ran as an independent, and lo and behold, he won. Geez, well, what a slap in the face to the Democrats. And he ended up serving another 6 years, I guess, as an independent. Now, he may have, didn't hold, I guess, everything against the Democrats, like a Democrat would hold against someone. Again, showing Joe Lieberman's character. I think he mostly backed what the Democrats proposed if he agreed with it. If he didn't agree with it, he didn't back it. And if the Republicans put up something that he agreed with, he backed that. So, I mean, these are the types of leaders we need. They're not party affiliates to the max, to the death of everything else around them. We need leadership with people that have experience in managing things, that know how to get things done. And we don't need these D's and these R designations on people. That's divisiveness. That divides the country into, one side and the other. That doesn't work in any place in the world. So Be Heard is a show about solutions. We find ourselves sometimes talking about a lot of problems, but we talk about them trying to find a solution as to what the answer is to these difficulties. The answer to me and to a lot of our listeners that have called in and support one solution or another, the leader at the moment is to get rid of the parties. What in the world does the parties do for anybody? I don't see it myself, and I don't think I'm blind. I kind of am analytic in a lot of ways. I try to identify what is the truth. I mean, I use common sense to do that. So anyone's welcome to have a debate with me. I look forward to it. I'll listen to your side and we can have a discussion. I'm not going to just offhand dismiss what you say. I'm going to actually listen to you and see what your thoughts are. Where I start getting a little, mixed up, if you will. Not that I'm mixed up, but when we're talking one subject and people start flying off and talking about things that are irrelevant or things from the past, and start talking about all the destruction that's happened in the world over and over again, I think we need to have solutions that are today oriented, that are looking forward, not backwards, and we need to go forth. Now, it doesn't mean you have to ignore history. No, learn from history. Those that don't know history are doomed to repeat failures that were tried before and didn't work. So we have to know what worked and what didn't work. That's normal common sense approach, and that's the way we need to go from this day forth. Common sense. One of the solutions that's on the computer here, suggestion, is that we teach CS 101 in school. That's Common Sense 101. I think we can teach English and algebra and French and Spanish and all these other languages, and we can teach science and biology and everything. Why can't we teach CS 101? And the basis foundation for that program would be to analyze what happened in history, what worked, what didn't work, and how that relates to today, and how we can implement something that has worked in the past, maybe with some modifications addressing today's factors, like we can't go back to riding horses. That might have worked in the 1800s, but I think now we have to kind of address certain things and adapt them to today's life, and use the history portion of it to see what worked and what didn't work, and just adapt it to today. And that's common sense, and teach that in school. Teach that if someone tells you 2 and 2 is 3, your common sense tells you to say, you know what, that's not right. And just use your head. Now, in the Democratic convention the other night, I heard 2 and 2 is 3 all night long. What a festival of lies. It just blew my, it really, you sit there with my mouth, my lady friend, my girlfriend, she's not that, she's a little political, but she's not, into it as much as I am. She's kind of a drifter, she thinks she'll be fine tomorrow as she is today, and a lot of this garbage and stuff going on doesn't matter. But, something to be said about that. And I don't know what I can do about what's going to happen in the future anyway, but at least I can, for my own sake of being something, I can analyze what I think's going on and what needs to be done, and I can express my opinions. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. But I sit there and watch this claptrap being thrown out over the TV waves from the Democrat convention, and I'm kind of vocal. And my girlfriend might go to the refrigerator to get something. She hears me yelling over there in the TV room, and calm down. Well, it's kind of hard to calm down when you're hearing a dissertation of lies. It's just, my God, do these people think we're stupid or what? It's pathetic. And of course, their whole platform has been designed around dumbing down America, dumbing down their constituents, so that their base will keep voting for them and keeping them in power through gifts and Santa Claus type proposals and free this and free that and everything. And that's how they buy votes. They let people into this country, refugees that don't have a clue for education, a job, they have no money. They're going to go on welfare right away. And that's the type of people that vote Democratic. So here comes the Democrat side of the aisle, just wanting all these people to come in free and dandy. And Hillary wants to increase the refugee program 550%. Now there's a real leader there. Isn't that just brilliant in this time where we have people out of work looking for good jobs, and we're going to import a whole bunch of people that are not probably trained to do much. And in those people we're bringing in, some of them have been trained. They're terrorists. They know how to shoot people and kill people and cut off heads. And these are the people that Hillary Clinton's perfectly fine. Let them come in. We don't need to know who they are. We trust them. What naivety. I mean, it's just sickening, really. It's beyond reason. It's just sickening. Bill Clinton's speech the other night was a complete joke. Someone wrote the fiction of his speech, how he met Hillary, his little pumpkin, and the little cute story of his most memorable of his wife was when she was on all fours laying contact paper in Chelsea's drawer when they were moving her into Stanford, I guess in her first semester or whatever. What a nice, heart-wrenching story. The fiction writer that wrote this up for him included Chelsea, you know, what a family man he is, and a best memory of his wife, Hillary. What a nice moment. This lady Hillary's probably never touched contact paper in her whole entire life. What a pathetic, can't they get a writer that can make up better stories than that? You know, and these people are famous for their phony baloney stories. They try to make points through fiction that have never happened because they don't live in reality. They live in falsehoods. So, you know, Hillary, when Bill and Hillary were in the Clinton administration before, they would come up with these stories. Like Hillary, I met a woman at a fair in Des Moines the other day, and she said she had an idea, why don't we raise the tax on the so-and-so? And that might help to lower the deficit. I think that would be a good way to get some revenue into the government that's badly needed. And you know, okay, what is this lady's name? I want to call her up. Where is she? She doesn't exist. It's like the Harry Reid line about Romney's taxes. He was never told by anybody of any substance that Romney hadn't paid his taxes because it was a friggin' lie. These people just tell stories. So they must have fiction writers, people that write novels or mysteries or something. They must get them out of writing a book now and then to write up some stories for the Democrats so they can profess all these stories that never happened. What a sweet little diatribe we heard there from Bill Clinton. My God, nothing about anything that Hillary wants to do, nothing of any substance. As a matter of fact, it was just full of crap, and it's all phony. If that's his #1 memory of his wife, what a marriage they've had. Of course, that's probably true. They've had nothing but, you know, Bill cheating and running around raping women, and Hillary has to cover up and handle the bimbo eruption squad and stuff like that. But I mean, you know the real history of these people, and you listen to that crap the other night, and it really makes you sick. It really does. These people are for real, and there's a certain amount, percentage-wise, of our voters out there that are genuinely thinking of voting for this. It just blows my mind. Come on, people, wake up. God, clean out your brain. Get rid of that brainwashing shit. Can't you look at what happened with Obama's administration and see the devastation that's very apparent today? Show one thing today that's better off than when he took office. And I love the things they run on. Well, he prevented a depression. Oh, he had a lot of saved jobs. Well, where does that statistic come from? That's the first time in the history that we've ever heard of a saved job. You know, I never heard the Republicans under Reagan or anybody else, well, we've saved millions of jobs. That was an invention of this despicable Obama administration. What is this? And all the things that crime's down, well, on what context? They found a statistic somewhere from maybe a little potato farm or someplace where they dug something up from whatever that doesn't even really apply to reality, and they used that figure to say crime's down. Where? Where is it down? You know, well, it was down in this potato farm area. I mean, it's crap. Everything these people tell you, you got to fact check it because nothing's true. Now, every Republican convention and information that's thrown out there is all fact checked over and over and over and over again. and just inspected for anything at all. And it doesn't even have to be a real fact. They just spin it into something. Like take these DNC emails now. Trump, I guess, I haven't heard much of it, but he did what do they call it, news press conference or something. Last night, I guess it was. I think it was in Miami. And now the press is just going absolutely beside themselves, spinning this thing into stuff that he never said. And you know, they have him now, they're accusing him of being treasonous. Can you imagine that? When Hillary and Bill are out raising money from foreign governments to sell influence, when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. You do a timeline there, and you figure out that, gee, you know, they got $10 million from this country, and 2 weeks later they get a contract for all the uranium or something out of Canada that Clinton was involved in that whole negotiation. Oh, but that $10 million contribution to the Canadian political party operation up there that don't have to report any contributions from anybody, and then all they do is they money launder the money and send it back into the U.S. as a contribution to the Clinton Crime Foundation. It's a neat little money laundering scheme that nobody, if anyone were to look at that and investigate it, you would put these people in jail. That's money laundering. It's racketeering. It's all kinds of things. The laws are on the book to have beaten the mafia and crime lords and stuff. But you see, the D is there. The Clintons are Ds, and they can't investigate any of the shady deals that they did because it would actually expose the entire Democratic Party is corrupt. It's just replete with corruption like nothing I've ever seen. These emails now that Trump's being accused of being treasonous over, he made a statement on his press conference the other night, I guess, saying that appears that these DNC emails were hacked by Russian intelligence officers, a couple of them. And so our FBI and everybody was having trouble getting access or finding these emails. And then here comes all these hacked emails from the DNC. Well, I think if these intelligence officers could hack the DNC, which I haven't heard yet that the DNC server was in somebody's basement or closet, I haven't heard that one. The DNC, I would imagine, was a little more secured than Hillary's closet server or basement server, because she was trying to hide the fact that she even had one. I don't think the DNC had any reason to try to hide their operation. I would guess that it was probably pretty friggin' secure. But when you're dealing with intelligent operatives of a level of one of the major governments in the world, they have talents, they have money to operate on. They take their people and they train them. Like the Russians, they just got, I guess there's some not being allowed to go to the Olympics or whatever, because these Russians do things where they born and raise future athletes from birth. They have the money to pay for these people's advancement and training and this and that, and they actually build their athletes from the ground up. These aren't regular normal people like in America that go to school, they join maybe a sports team, they somewhat excel here, excel there, and they develop their talent over time, but they're not paid for from the government at birth to create themselves into being the best this or that. The Russians do that, the Chinese do that. And the Chinese phony up certifications and so forth, and some of these Chinese Olympic stars you find out that are passing themselves off as being a certain age or not that age in reality. You know, they're just all a bunch of phony baloney. You know, and I guess that's the way the world is, and boy, the Democrats are certainly that way. But to accuse Donald Trump of telling or of backing the press now is reporting that Trump is treasonous because he's trying to get the Russians to hack, I guess, the server and get these emails. Nothing could be further from the truth. Comey just came on when he, told the world of all the things that Clinton did. He might not have recommended that she be indicted. I would say that probably he didn't, because he knew he'd be wasting his time, that the fix was already in with the Attorney General and Obama and everybody else. So rather than throw himself under the bus, he threw them under the bus. And I'm not going to be any part of this. She did this, and that. In other words, she lied, and there you go. Now take it from there. You want to ask me for the evidence we have, I'll give it to you, but I'm not going to make any recommendations that are already fixed. So, so I think he might have had a little class there. But at any rate, now the press is going besides themselves, because their job is to protect this despicable DNC any way they can, and to destroy Trump in the process. So they're coming out with out-and-out lies. Now, what Trump said was, it's obvious by what had happened here that the Russians leaked this information that they already had obtained, and anything as far as Hillary's server goes, if they have it, they have it. And Trump was saying, if you can find it even, publish it. I think you do well with our press over here. Not that Putin gives a damn about our press, but at any rate, Trump wasn't telling them that he's going to pay them to go find Hillary's emails. Why is that? Because her server's gone. You can't hack a server that's no longer there. Comey said that the server doesn't exist anymore. So it's all an exercise of lying, according to the press. They're trying to spin something out of control with a despicable lie. And that's what Trump's been fighting ever since he announced the run a year ago, June. He's been going through the most treacherous, out of order lie campaign ever. Nobody else could have held up to this type of action. But Trump has enough wherewithal, enough instinct, that he's just beat it back at every front. And not only that, he turns it around in his favor. Look what's happening. He's exposed not only Hillary Clinton as a liar and exposed the press as liars, he's now destroyed the DNC in a way, because he's put it right up there. Now, most of past campaigns had a little bit of respect, if that's what it was, I don't know. But during the conventions of the opposing party, the other party wouldn't go on a big advertising campaign. They wouldn't analyze every single thing that was said. They kind of gave them a 1 week free rein, say what you want to say, put out your crap. And then after it's over with, then maybe we'll fire up our, things again. And the same for the other party. They all kind of give everybody a free pass for a week. Well, this DNC is so despicable. They don't play by the rules at all. In this particular campaign anyways, they've been out of order on every single thing they've done. And Trump's not going to back up and be polite. For what? He's fighting a war. And when you fight a war to win it. You don't fight a war by being nice. Trump is not going to win that way. Trump's all about winning and the truth. And if you lie, if you cheat, if you say something that's wrong, he's got to expose you. He says stuff that's right, and he has to suffer through the press spinning it around into something that it's not, and then he has to correct it, and it takes some time and effort and so forth to correct it. And that's the BS of this whole thing. But he has a way of doing this with evidence and so forth, where they're so despicable that their act by itself really destroys it. Look at Bill Clinton's claptrap the other night. Do you believe any of the stories that he said about how he met his wife and she decided to, on her own to move to Arkansas and he became the lieutenant governor, and then she was involved in a nurse plan to go out into the rural areas where doctors wouldn't go, and these nurses would supply a form of primary health care in these rural areas. So Hillary, way back then in the 70s, was just a leader of health care around America. What a qualified individual. Now, if you looked up the truth, you'd probably find out that that was some sort of a a money-raising effort on somebody's part to put money into the Clintons' pockets. You know, they don't do a damn thing for the communities to be nice or anything. They rip off the American people on a daily basis. They take Clinton Crime Foundation contributions to their foundation. They money launder money through Canada. Read today's review, Las Vegas Tribune. There's a story in there about the ISIS ties and Muslim Brotherhood ties of the vice presidential pick. If that doesn't show the complete non-managerial capability of a Hillary Clinton and how her campaign picks these people to be a running mate. Did they even know this guy at all? Did they check his background? He's been involved raising money from ISIS-type connections, Al-Qaeda, the Muslim Brotherhood. I mean, this guy, you know, I think the problem is that all the Democrat operatives, no matter who you call on their bench, are all so corrupted with so much baggage, there's nobody there. Imagine yourself as a baseball manager and you got to put someone in the game off the bench. Who the hell do you pick? There's nobody over there that can even catch a ground ball, let alone a fly ball. I mean, what are you going to do here? They have the most despicable bench, completely replete of any talent, devoid of any talent whatsoever. They don't have any talent. Look at the people that they march out to give speeches at the Democrat convention. I don't recall, I may have been sleeping or something, but during the RNC convention, I don't remember all these entertainers out there sucking up the time like this singer, who I never even heard of in my life. I mean, maybe I'm not paying a lot of my free disk space in my head, trying to, you know, watch these singers and figure out who the hell they are. I just don't do that. I'd like to have free disk space available for important information that I may obtain. But who was this person? And why was she on for so long? And was there anything good about that? I don't even know if that was a song. Well, anyways, they're putting up people that for the most part are all has-beens, like Madeleine Albright. Are you kidding me? How do you bring her out and prop her up there? And the stuff she said was completely lies, total lie. What a great job Hillary did flying around the world and accomplished nothing. Everything she touched is on fire now. I mean, how do you... I guess they have to use these old has-beens, give them a job for a night. I don't know what it is, but everybody they put up there, for the most part, I may have missed a few, but they're all has-beens. Trump put up individuals that are current. He put up governors, sitting senators, you know, people that are active. Giuliani's a past mayor of New York, but I think he was like a three-termer. He was involved when 9/11 happened, and he did a great job in terrible times. He responded to the tragedy as a manager would, and he just did a wonderful, wonderful job in doing whatever could be done. He restored New York to prosperity. He did a wonderful job. And the guy's going to have a job in the next administration for sure, and he's 100% qualified. If the vice president pick is any indication of the type of people that Hillary Clinton's going to nominate for anything, we're in for a very, very rough road of things like the Obama administration appointed. All his czars, people like Van Jones, a devout communist, he appointed people like Eric Holder. They don't have any managerial capability of being able to run anything whatsoever. They're just puppets of Obama. See, when you're a person like Obama who's never accomplished anything in your life yourself, you have to surround yourself with people that are less competent than you are. He thinks that makes him look good. when the opposite would actually be the truth. If you're someone who hasn't done anything, you need to surround yourself with competent operatives, and they, in fact, will make you look good because everybody will assume you're the one pulling the strings of these people, and look at the great results you get. You see, liberals don't think that way. You didn't build that. I mean, they're devoid of any common sense about how things are actually done. It's just so bad. Anyways, it's hard to believe that the DNC chose the lineup they did with mothers of dead children that caused their own deaths by their actions. I mean, we have the gentle giant. He was tagged with that name. I don't think there's anything gentle about him. That's another one of those fabrications from the Democrats, like Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. They do a great job of throwing adjectives in there that are the opposite of what they're trying to sell them as. Take the word progressives. They take the word progress, good positive word, right? Progress. That sounds good. And they put an "if" at the end of it, and they try to make a positive word, a word that they can use as a progressive. Well, a progressive is not positive or progress. So it's a complete opposite. When they do the IBE, they turn it into something that it's not. And they hijack words, they try to attach a meaning to them that doesn't exist, and off they go. I can't believe that the DNC, this day and age, with the terrorism threat that we're under, ISIS being imported into the country in droves, infiltrating these refugees, of course they are, everybody knows that. That would be stupid for you not. Like Ben Carson says, the terrorists would be guilty of terroristic malpractice if they didn't infiltrate people that would just be in the red carpeted into their target area. It'd be stupid. But they have, to have a platform at a national convention where you're really projecting out there a very bad thing that's going on in this country tonight. That police are actually kind of like scared to death to go to work. Innocent cops out doing their job protecting people are getting sniped. I mean, this is a really, really serious bad thing. When you have a president like Obama witnessing a march of people down the street, what do we want now? Dead cops now. Wrap them in bacon, pig them in bacon, fry them like bacon. I mean, this is despicable display of just outlandish behavior. And the president, I don't think he said one friggin' word about that. That's unbelievable. And then this national convention, they parade these people out. All the hands up, don't shoot crap. I mean, good God, man, it blows my mind. They're just totally, they just don't have any knowledge about the importance of what things look like. That Martha, what is her name, Elizabeth Warren, what a speech she gave. This lady is so deplete of any foresight of the repercussions of what her speech was. She mentioned the word, what was it? It wasn't fixed, but it was the same thing, rigged. She mentioned the word rigged. I know multiple times. Brent Barr, after the speech, said she mentioned rigged 3 times. I counted way more than that myself. I was up to 3 in no time. Because the first time she said it, I went, whoa, what's that? And then I said, that's stupid. How can you mention rigged? That very day, the DNC was accused of rigging the nomination process. And it's true. And she's out there clapping her trap with rigged. I mean, Jesus criminy, this lady is just stupid, okay? There you go, Pocahontas, you're stupid. And everyone accuses me, oh, you're so biased against the Democrat. No, I'm biased against stupidity, pardon me for living. When I see stupid, I'm gonna say that's stupid. I don't try to be politically correct. I don't really give a toot about somebody's feelings. I really don't. I mean, I try to entertain the thought, why would I stir up somebody by calling them, telling them their mother wears army boots? I've never been that way. I don't try to pick fights. But on the other hand, when somebody tells me something that's completely stupid, and they're taking the time to tell me this crap, I'm going to look them in the eye and say, that's stupid. I'm not going to worry about their feelings. As far as I'm concerned, you don't deserve any feelings. When you're clapping your trap and putting out falsehoods and lies that are so misguided and some devious reason for doing it, God damn it, I'm going to call you out. It's as simple as that. And I have a show here that people can call me up and disagree with me. They can put their stuff out there. If your little feelings are going to hurt if I disagree with what you say, then don't bother calling, okay? I don't want people calling and having their feelings hurt. You know, go call Oprah Winfrey or somebody, or that doctor, whatever his name, Dr. Phil, or one of these feeling type people. You know, those people bore me. Don't worry about what you say. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's the way I grew up, and I believe that. What's in a word? You know, and here you got Obama, our supposed leader, saying the ISIS people, you know, cutting off heads and this and that. You're going to get them to come to the table with words. The way we win world wars in the future is with words and ideas. Is this guy bananas? I know he is, but I mean, what a stupid. You let your security staff stay home. You get on your wings that you use every day to fly someplace. Go over their land in Lebanon, Assyria. You know, go find ISIS out there and have a little meeting with them. And that'll be one way to get rid of you. You won't be coming back, I guarantee you that. We'll see how your words and your ideas go over there. You know, what a friggin' unqualified individual he was. What a pathetic way to go. The first black president. Well, we made a big mistake. It had nothing to do with his color. It had to do with the way the man thinks, okay? We made a big mistake. Let's not make another one with the first woman president. These are the type of platforms, these people devoid of any ideas. They run on these things like the first this or the first that. And then if you don't go for that, you're either a sexist or you're a racist or this or that. No, I'm an idealist. Come up with a good plan that has grounded in common sense and will entertain that thought and think about it. Don't give us a bunch of crap lies. Don't give us a story created by a fiction writer that Bill Clinton gets up there and reads off his teleprompter about his most memorable memory of his life is her on all fours laying contact paper in a drawer at Chelsea's new apartment at the Stanford. I mean, what? Anybody believe that? I mean, I wouldn't remember my wife, my most memory of my, you know, whatever, love of my life, that would be a memory that would be at the top of my list. Are you kidding me? My God, what a pathetic excuse for a lie to be perpetrated on the American people. That is just stupid. So anyways, we need solutions. I support qualified leadership that have solid ideas and experience in managing. Hillary and the entire Democratic bench is seriously lacking in any qualified people. The VIP pick proves that. I mean, lack of leadership, it's pathetic. You know, Madeleine Albright, what a has-been. I'm surprised she's still around. Isn't that the lady that said something about at one of Hillary's rallies in New Hampshire, something about women, if you don't vote for Hillary Clinton, you're something. I mean, what a despicable statement that was. I try to wipe things like that from my mind because I don't want to take up my disk space with crap like that. I mean, that was crap. And she took a lot of flack over that. And then Hillary Clinton, with her great managerial capabilities of doing the right thing, puts her up at the convention. I mean, the last thing you want is somebody that has a mouth on her like that. She's already got you in trouble. And you do it again, you come back for more. Oh my God. Oh, this person is just despicable. This weekend, I don't know who it was, Gene Pirro or someone had a thing up on display there that showed Hillary's bills that she proposed in the Senate from New York. And they denied. and I think she got through 3 that actually got passed. One of them was to rename a post office. That's a boy. You know what? If that doesn't qualify you to be president, I don't know what the hell does. That's amazing. What a great bill that was. And I'm not going to even. The other ones were so, non-consequential. I don't even want to mention them. They're so insignificant. They're laughers, really. But that's it. 3 bills passed. A whole bunch of others denied. She is quite the leader. You ask people on the street, from New York. She was a New York senator, right? What did Hillary accomplish as a senator? You hear the, whatever that is, music in their ears. They can't give one accomplishment. And look at what the people that have given speeches at the convention have said. They don't say anything. They say stuff that's just like nothing. She did a great job flying around. So that's an accomplishment that you can put on your resume as a Secretary of State. I know Hillary likes to say how many miles she tracked up, getting waited on in a private exclusive jet, landing in Bosnia under gunfire. There was a lie. What is it that was so hard about what she did? And everything she touched, from the reset button to the Muslim Brotherhood to the Libyan to the everything she touched turned to garbage. And that's what follows the Clintons. Look at their track record, their history. Devastation follows them wherever they go. That and even dead bodies. I mean, these people, boy, it just amazes me. This country, I think, is still the greatest country in the world. But you know what? We've got issues. And the issues come from stupidity, to tell you the truth. It's just sad. It's really sad. We have a country here that's big. We have a lot of natural resources. If we had to produce our own energy, we could. It would be a little more expensive than what we're used to, but we have it. We're not going to be squeezed into nothing because we can't produce fuel. We have that. We have tons and tons of natural gas, I guess, more so than any place else around. And it takes a little bit of adaptation to be able to use it, but that's all possible. The technology's there. It's just that we don't spend a lot of time implementing that because we're buying oil and stuff so cheap right now from these foreign governments that are, right now, they're trying to undercut the American production. We have to frack shale and things of that cost a lot of money to do it. The Arabs, they just turn on a valve and here comes the oil. A ship pulls in, they turn the valve, fill up the ship, shut off the valve, wait for the next ship. That's some kind of real expensive production there. I think at one time, it may have risen a little lately, but not that long ago, it cost them 50 cents a barrel was their lifting cost. 50 cents a barrel. Amazing. To frack wells in this country, the lifting costs are going to be north of $60 per barrel. So that's the difference. It's a little hard to compete with an Arab nation or Brunei and places like that where they just turn a valve. They don't even have a lot of pump jacks in those countries because the oil's self-driving. They just turn a valve. Here it comes. And it comes in droves, thousands of barrels a day. Their oil production over there comes from a sand underneath it's desert, right? So the oil is sitting in sand. It doesn't have to be fracked. You don't have to crack a bunch of hard rock to get to it. You just, and the oil carries gas with it, its own drive. So you just turn a valve and here it comes. So we have a great country with a lot of natural resources. We have a lot of gold that hasn't been processed yet. We have a lot going for us, a tremendous, tremendous country. And the stupidity of our leaders and their game plan was to dumb people down, make people stupid, so the stupid people would elect stupid leaders. And that was their game plan, and they did that to keep power. And people have fallen for it. Enough people have fallen for it. And then enough rigged, hello Pocahontas, enough rigged actions have gone on where they fixed the elections, they fixed voting machines, They'll do whatever it takes to steal the election. Nothing goes past them, nothing. Harry Reid, for example, was down 5% against Sharon Angle the day of the election, and then he wins by 5 points. People were saying, giving reports that they would vote for Angle in these voting machines, and then they would go on down the ballot and finish up, and then just some of them, for the heck of it, would come back and check their ballot. Well, lo and behold, in the voting machine, when they voted for Angle, it changed to Reid, like right before their eyes, like magic. What the hell's going on here? So there were a lot of reports like that. What came out of that? Nothing. Harry Reid would sweep that right under the rug. When you give people power, you're giving up a lot, because it takes a lot of effort and time to get rid of these people. It's like when you go to court and you get a bad, illegal decision. That's the devastation, not that the court made a mistake. Oh yeah, well, you know, courts do make mistakes. And sometimes courts make intentional. You can't call them mistakes. They do the acts intentionally, knowing it's against the law, but they know that it's going to cause you years and years to straighten it out. In the meantime, they got your money, and they're going to just give it away as fast as they can. So at the end of the day, you have nothing left to fight over. It's called, like, I don't know, what do you call it, legalized theft? Or the appearance of legality. It's not legal, but they get away with it because they know the system. They know the system's broken, and the enforcement officers don't do much about it. And this is the system that we're living with, because we, the people, don't put a stop to it. We have to put a stop to it. It's absolutely causes nothing but devastation. It ruins families. When you ruin a family because you want to enrich attorneys, and these attorneys will turn around and contribute to the judge's campaign funds, that's corruption. And that's what we have here in Nevada. We have to spend some effort here soon to make sure that we institute, through a ballot initiative or whatever it takes, legislation maybe, that we change the way that we elect judges. We have to get rid of the corruption here in Nevada. It's far-reaching, and it's devastation to the families involved. Look what happened a few years ago in the guardianship scandals, and the HOA, and these things. They're persuaded. I mean, unbelievable, the corruption. When you have a person that maybe they're getting elderly, they start to lose some of their cognizant capability. And if you have the unfortunate fact that you live in Nevada, some guardian is going to get a hold of you, especially if you have money, and they're going to steal your money. And then the courts or the magistrates or whatever are going to protect that, to continue to have that going on, probably getting some kind of feedback on that, kickbacks or what have you. And if a relative from another state should show up, like a daughter or a son concerned about their parent, go away. Your relative is being well taken care of by the state of Nevada. We're under guardianship and we're protecting them. Yeah, where's their money going? It's got a direct pipeline right to the courthouse and right to the lawyers' bank accounts. So, this is a despicable court system in this state, and we got to fix it because it is broken. So wake up, America. Let's get this country straightened out, please, because other people are going to come down the pike, and they're going to be decimated, where they're going to believe in the system that they'll protect them, and they're going to get decimated. They're going to end up losing everything that their heirs had worked for, or their ancestors had worked for, and worked their whole life in some instances, left a sizable amount of money to help their heirs, and the government steals it and gives it to lawyers. You've got to be kidding me. That can't be happening, can it? No. I got the proof. It's happening every day, and it is pathetic. It's despicable. It's obscene.
My country sings of me.